is Robert Goldie. He was born in Scotland in 1830. He immigrated to the United States, moving to Milwaukee, Wisconsin, where he became a baker. That's the guy with bread, not banker. I know we've seen a lot of bankers and such, but B-A-K-E-R. Goldie married Martha Harris in Milwaukee before starting his own bakery in nearby Racine, Wisconsin. The Goldies moved to Sioux City in 1857, where they started Sioux City's first bakery. Goldie Avenue in Riverside is named in this guy's honor. He died in 1870. Now, keep in mind the Goldie thing, because there's a little bit more of a story going on here now. He was really young. He was only 37 when he died. His wife, Martha Harris, there's an important reason I mentioned her, because she married Charles Franklin Hoyt, who's right by here. Charles Franklin Hoyt was born in rural Illinois in 1842. Through the 1860s, he drove wagon trains, prospected for gold in Idaho and Montana, and learned the photography business. He came to Sioux City in 1871 and partnered with James H. Hamilton, one of the most prominent photographers in the Northwest. We're going to see James Hamilton in just a little bit. He was very active in the Sioux City business community. He started the Sioux City Vinegar and Pickling Works in 1875. He was active as owner or officer in many other businesses, like the Sioux City Brewery, the Sioux City Brick and Tile Works, the Sioux Paving Brick Company, the Sioux City Stoneware Company, the Sioux City and Northern Railroad, and the Sioux City and Des Moines Railroad. He was also active in real estate, owning large tracts of land in Kansas, but also areas of Sioux City, like Springdale, Highland Park, and Riverside. Hoyt married the widow of Goldie in 1870. That's how Goldie Avenue got its name, because Hoyt was the guy who platted Riverside, and you got Goldie Avenue. There was also a Hoyt Street in Riverside, but it was renamed in 1915 and is now Bryan Avenue. So, that's pretty interesting. Now, I got to do our next guy. Just because what is going, we'll just stay right here. That is a really cool cast iron marker. Now, cast iron markers were cheap. I mean, stone was expensive, cast iron inexpensive. But look how well cast iron has held up over, well, that's 125 years old. So, white bronze? White bronze? Well, that's a little more expensive than cast iron. So, this is the gravesite of Christian Ohmig. Ohmig was born in Germany in 1813. He and his family moved to Sioux City around 1870 and started a dairy business. Ohmig started buying lots and lots of real estate, and by 1890, he had accumulated land worth $120,000 and had about $45,000 in Sioux City banks. He was also, as I've dubbed him, the king of Sioux City slumlords. I mean, really, he had the rattiest property in this town, even in the 1890s. This is what's so interesting and why I really wanted to read this and add this to the tour. The Sioux City Journal wrote about William Ohmig in the 1890s. William and Christian lived together in two squalid rooms in the rear of a house at 1503 5th Street. Because of their habits of frugality and their strange mode of life and apparent distrust of all men, the Ohmigs were surrounded by mystery. Rumor had it that barrels of money were buried in the basement and that wads of banknotes nestled in linings and pockets of shabby garments hanging on the walls. In 1890, a burglar entered their squalid rooms, shot son William 3 times, bludgeoned Christian with a gun. William, the son who was shot 3 times, survived. He survived several weeks with plenty of time to identify the assailant. So that is his story of Christian and William Olney. We move on to